Apple has announced its first foray into wearable technology with the Apple Watch. Taking to the stage at the Flint Center in California last night was Apple CEO Tim Cook, marking the first brand new product launch under his tenure. Unlike other new products like the iPhone or the iPad, Apple is late to the smartwatch market. This has led some analysts to suggest that Apple has gone from being a trendsetter to a trend follower.
What's been interesting with Apple in the last few years is that under Tim Cook, the company's moved very much from being kind of leader in the industry to following many industry trends. So one example of this is Apple adopting the share buyback strategy. This is what many other corporations have done as a kind of a cheap trick in order to pump up their share price. They do it because share prices go up and also the CEO gets a nice bonus at the end of the day from doing that. The big problem with this is that it diverts money which could be used on longer term innovation, which would build the next iPad or the next iPhone or whatever, the new product categories which would be blockbusters in the future. So there's big questions about whether Apple is going to be able to deliver this innovation over the longer term when it's actually using its money to pump up the share price in the short term rather than investing in long-term innovation.
Professor Spicer questions whether people even want a smartwatch. Apple will be hoping to invigorate the wearables market, which has so far failed to capture the public's attention. Apple's motivations may lie beyond simply a new product, however, with the focus on sensors and tracking perhaps suggesting darker motives.
Prisoners are forced to wear tracking devices, whereas it seems that Apple customers are willing to pay hundreds of dollars for the pleasure of wearing a tracking device. This seems rather strange. So these devices will not just track where you are, who you're sending your emails to, but they'll track things from your heartbeat, how fast you run if you're going for runs. With some life logging techniques, you can even track, your moods and how often you go to the bathroom. So suddenly, the Apple Corporation will have this huge amount of data on your personal life, which they're not going to just protect. They're often, as many other companies do, turn that into an income stream and sell it on to other companies who'd be interested in it. So there's going to be major issues around sort of personal privacy and data privacy which come out of this, I think.
Following the California event, Apple's share price fell, suggesting that investors at least were underwhelmed by Cook's big announcement. With rivals crowding into the market at an ever-increasing rate, Apple is struggling to remain the powerhouse that it once was.
There's a question about whether Apple is losing its edge. I think the jury's still very much out on that question at the moment. I think if Apple are able to build in the kind of life logging and life tracking kind of possibilities that are implicit within the device, make a step into the healthcare market, then they're able to show some sort of industry leadership. However, it's uncertain about whether that's the case.